Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Hidan, posting at weird hours. But what's new, gentlemen? For today's video, we have a few women that you see on screen right here, guys, as we have Ampu unaware of his possible and eventual demise. And also, for our Reddit story, a woman has a taste of equality and she doesn't like it. And nobody is surprised. So stick around for that, gentlemen. But now, some of you like my advice because it's good, some of you like it because it's insightful or entertaining, but what we all agree on is that my advice, guys, or anyone's advice for that matter, is just crap compared to women's dating advice, especially when they're single over the age of 30. Alright, so I bring you that today, gentlemen. Let's wisen our brains with this content and let's have a listen.
Pose the question, what would you have to do differently in your life if you knew that a romantic relationship wasn't in the cards for you? And I got a lot of comments like this one and a lot of answers like, I would just leave because what's the point without love? And that is actually the point I was trying to make. I believe that love is why we're here. I think that love is a crucial, inextricable component of the human experience. However, we treat romantic love like it's the only kind, and it's not. Most of us live in cultures and families and systems that pedestalize romantic relationship and marriage in particular, and stigmatize being single. That alone, of course, makes single people
No. This video, guys, for any of you wondering, is not taken from the 18th century and is being colorized. No, this is a video from this year. So no, societies don't pedestalize marriage and traditional families and values. No, we're so far away from that. And yes, what we are pedestalizing and idolizing is singlehood. Through hookup culture, through empowerment, through materialistic mindsets, hedonism, alright? That is what's ruling societies. It's not traditional values. So being single is not stigmatized enough, gentlemen. I would want every single woman who is over 30 and single to be stigmatized, alright? People to point at her with their fingers and laugh. And maybe you're thinking that that's too harsh. Gentlemen, there are women, I believe, that are single because there are just people that are meant to be single, alright? I do believe that there are people that work better off alone. But that's not the general case, alright? The center point of humanity is that you have to find someone and create a family. That's the good path in life, alright? So we're not stigmatizing being single enough, you ask me.
Stigmatize being single. That alone, of course, makes single people feel like there's something wrong with me if I haven't found a person to share my life with yet.
There is. Guys, there is something wrong, especially with women in today's society, when they don't find someone. Because you have all the good cards in your hand, you know what I mean? Like you have everything preset to succeed and you fail. Guys, let me say this again. Women, it takes some effort to be single, alright? And look, maybe there are some single ladies watching. I'm not saying that it applies to every woman. There are cases and cases, but for most women, guys, it takes effort and hard work to end up single.
But it goes much deeper than that. As a holistic therapist and attachment
That's what she said.
trauma expert, I focus the majority.
No, wait. What were her what were her credentials again, guys? Let me read. A holistic therapist, an attachment trauma expert. She's an expert, guys. Says who? Says her ass. But those are her credentials.
Therapist and attachment trauma expert, I focus the majority of my work on core attachment wounds. And I think that the reason why so many people pedestalize romantic relationship and feel like their life is nothing without it is because the core wounds inside of us seek somebody unconsciously who reminds us of the perpetrators of those original core wounds, which are often our parents or primary caregivers. And that's not to say that they're bad people or that they did anything wrong. It's just that most of us have attachment wounds and places in our past where we didn't feel lovable, we didn't feel worthy, we didn't feel good enough. And so we go out into the world and try to get one person to prove that wrong, to make us feel like we're finally enough. So of course, if you tell that younger inner core wounded part of you that romantic love isn't coming, it's going to feel hopeless and worthless. But here is the kicker. You can make your whole life about love. You can feel filled with love from the inside out without.
Guys, this one is rambling, yada yada yada, and we have like this violin sonata in the background. All right, so it's someone going crazy on the violin. Ampu, can you please join him? All right, we're gonna have a competition here, guys. A violin competition, a violin symphony for all of you gentlemen to enjoy. What else do you want from this channel?
Without needing to get it from one specific person. And in fact, that's actually what makes romantic relationships so much deeper and richer and sweeter, is when we don't have attachment to needing this specific person to love me, because love is just who I am. I give it and receive it to everybody in my life and everybody I come in contact with, including, first and foremost, myself. So romantic love, if and when it shows up, just gets to be the cherry on top of this beautiful love-filled sundae of life. And not having romantic relationship is not a reflection of your worth or value whatsoever. It could be a reflection of the timing of your life and the chapter that you're in right now. It could be a reflection of your values and what you've chosen to prioritize. It could be
All right, no, I do believe that it could be the chapter of your life. Okay, people date at different ages, at different chapters. My question is, when is your chapter coming? All right, for all those ladies that are single over 30 and 40 and 50, where does your chapter come? We're at the end of the book already and you haven't found someone. So when is that chapter coming? Because it has to come at some point. When is it going to be? When you are in your 80s, when you're going to meet Prince Charming? Because I'm starting to think that's not going to happen, right? Call me pessimistic, guys. And she says, what was it? She mentioned the values. It could be a reflection of your values and what you've chosen to prioritize. Absolutely, guys. And again, I believe that some people are meant to be single. They just work better single. And there are people that have different devotions, right? Like you have religion on one hand. There are people who choose the religious lifestyle. They don't focus on relationships. There are apostles, you know, from the Bible who believe in that. There are, like, you have Mother Teresa, for example. She devoted her life to religion. And I find that very respectful, no matter what your religion is. There are monks that choose this path, all right? There are also people who go into science, so they are creating someone, not someone, something rather. I'd be quite worried if someone is creating someone. No, but they are creating something, you know, they are doing research, they are just too invested in that. That's what makes their days brighter, you know? And I don't think that everyone should be in a relationship, even though it's absolutely possible, right? Like, Einstein, all those people that were, you know, very good at science, they still had wives, so it's not like one thing takes the other away. I'm just saying, there are people who prefer it that way, all right? And there's nothing wrong. But gentlemen, again, these women, all right, there are exceptions. But the center point, my main talking point here, is that it doesn't apply to everyone. We have an epidemic of single women, and not all of them are monks, all right? It's not because all of them want to be women in STEM and they want to create the next spaceship that will take humanity to Mars, all right? No, there is no value in their lives. They are substituting a family for hookups, all right? They're doing it for the streets, guys. Like this woman trying to talk all big on us, oh, the priorities and the, you know, moral background. No, don't lie to us. We know what most women sacrifice. You know, they sacrifice a family in the altar of hedonism. That's what they do. They are self-absorbed, they are egoists, and they only care about themselves. That is why they are single. It's not because they are chasing the different value in life. So don't give me that whole crap. Like, we should stigmatize being single for that reason. Not because it always is the case. There are some cases in which being single is good, but because in most cases, these people are substituting what's good for them, what's good for other people, what's good for their children in case of single mothers, what's good for society, for their own ass, all right? That's what they're doing, and it's not good.
prioritize. It could be a reflection of so many different things. It could also be a reflection of the fact that you're still playing out old core wounds that say you're not lovable, so you haven't been able to see and choose healthy, available partners for you. But it doesn't mean that you're not worthy of love. All this to say,
guys, I'm gonna pause it again just for a short while. Ampu, you can stop with the violin. Instead, yes, Ampu wants to cringe very hard at this woman. So, my point here, guys, is that, and I forgot what was my point. Ampu, you distracted me, man. Right, let's play it back and I'll remember it.
but it doesn't mean that you're not worthy of love. All this to say, yes, of course, love is the point. Without love, why?
Yeah, gentlemen. She mentioned a while ago that, oh, maybe you have wounds of the past and that is why you are single. Guys, people in the past, okay, before we had so many new psychological developments and so many new theories that we found out about, all right, before psychology was a thing, can you realize the times in, just think about the times in which people used to live. Nobody was described as having a depression, having anxiety, having PTSD. Nobody knew about those things. You had people living in villages that probably had some sort of depression, childhood trauma and all that. They just didn't think about it all day, all right? They didn't spend their whole days dwelling on how miserable they are, how hard it is, oh, my childhood traumas. No, you just work with what you have, all right? You had a lot of people in the past addicted to drinking, all right? It was a very common problem, even more than today, I think. You had all those people, guys, with all sorts of backgrounds, all sorts of problems. People in the past used to have a way shorter life expectancy. So you had people who, you know, a lot of them didn't have a father when they were growing up. They didn't have a mother. They saw a brother pass away at a young age. You had all those people, guys, scarred in so many different ways. And you didn't have the divorce rates that you had today. You didn't have the problems that you had today. People were still raising children, all right? Like, people in the past used to have it so much harder. And we have these crybabies now in today's society. I have depression. I have anxiety. I can't work like this. Now I can't have a family now. Stop crying. This is what life is, all right? What do you want? You want life to be perfect? Oh no. Some child stole my toy when I was 5 and now I have this trauma. I can't work with this. Stop crying. Jeez, everybody has problems. Just stop crying about them. Reflect about them. Try to improve your life, your situation. Stop crying all the time, damn it. These crybabies, guys. If these people were born 2 centuries ago and they had the same mindset, they wouldn't survive. They wouldn't survive in the world that was before. But that's what people say, right? Good people build what was it? No, tough people build a good life. A good life builds brats and people who don't know how to manage things, which in turn creates a bad life, which in turn creates tough people, all right? Now these people are weak. They're so weak, guys. I don't know, maybe the previous generation was one of those tough guys, but today's generation just sucks. All right, they're crying all the time. They're making everything harder. I don't know, maybe the next generation will be a bit tougher and will not be crying all day about their self-prescribed mental illnesses. But now, John, I'll finally shut up. Let's finish this TikTok.
Would we be here? We are built and hardwired for connection. That connection doesn't need to come from one specific person in order for your life to have fulfillment. And I'm saying all this with so much passion because it took me a long time to learn that lesson. It took me a long time to find my sense of self-worth outside of my relationship status. And I want the same for you too, because my life is so much sweeter on the other side of that work.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. My life, guys, is so much sweeter. I'm 30 and single. Nobody wants me because I can't keep a relationship for more than 5 months. And I want every woman to be like me. Oh yeah, that's a general thing with women. But guys, it took us so long to finally reach the maximum level of coping, all right? You used to feel bad her last two working brain cells used to tell her that, hey, well, why did you choose this path for us, you know? But now, guys, she has finally reached the maximum level of coping, and she has self-deluded herself into thinking that this path that she actively chose to be a single at 30 is somehow good, and she will somehow meet Prince Charming in the next chapter of her life, which I'm sure, guys, he's just around the corner any day now. When you least expect it, he will come. But now, gentlemen, let's move on to our next TikTok.
Welcome to This Is Why I'm Still Single. Dating stories that will have you cringing so hard you'll understand why I'm still single. This one's a little bit more serious, and it's not something that happened to me, but this is one of the reasons that I'm still single, and it's like the reality of it. This morning I heard a story that just happened recently where a woman went on a couple dates with this guy, and literally he couldn't handle the rejection when she said I wasn't interested, and he found out where she lived, broke in, and unalived her. And the way he did it was just absolutely insane. I won't even share. It was disgusting and disturbing.
Well, there you have it, guys. That is why she's single. What do you expect out of these women? How can you not be single when every man cannot handle rejection and unalives you afterwards? You know, guys, that's why she's single. All right, now stop it already with the blaming, with the finger pointing. That's why she's single. That's apparently why millions, billions of women are single, guys, because all men are unalivers. In fact, guys, today after my gym routine, while I was going back home, you know, I unalived two women on the street just for good measure. They didn't reject me, but, you know, just for the sport, just to keep myself active, you know, I just unalived them on the street. Well, that's that, you know. It's just, we live in such a world.
But like, she did everything right, so to speak, and this still happened. Like, she only met him in public places. She told her family who she was meeting. You know, she went out with him a few times, made her intentions clear, decided she didn't like him, told him in a kind way, unfriended him, and he went ballistic. And I have been on a few dates with men over the years who I believe with my whole heart were psychopaths or sociopaths or complete narcissists. And I don't use that word like, I mean, everybody throws around narcissism completely, but I am a licensed mental health therapist, so like I can recognize that. And I was actually in a relationship for...
Now, you will think, gentlemen, you would think that if she really is a licensed psychologist, psychotherapist, she will pick up on the fact that these people are sociopaths and will not date them, you know? So you're telling me you can pick up when people are sociopaths and psychopaths and all those things, yet you still date them. Like, what's going on here? Are you telling me you found out on the date? You couldn't have found before that? I know, just the whole thing smells like crap. Nobody is buying this.
For over a year with a diagnosed narcissist.
Oh, I hadn't even read that. There you have it. She's not finding about this on the date. So you're this licensed psychotherapist, and you were dating a narcissist for a full year. Like, what's the deal here, guys?
And I had to leave, run for my life, move from one part of the state or one part of the country to another, and start my whole life over again. So I've had some crazy experiences, and very few things scare me. For the most part, I'm just like, it is what it is. People are wild, whatever. I've worked with a lot of different types of personalities, whether it's as a therapist or dating and whatever else. But like, there are some stories that like shake me, and I don't know what to do. So I just saw this TikTok of this woman who says when she goes on a date with somebody that she doesn't know, she actually has him take a picture of his license and his license plate. She takes that with all the information she knows about him, sends it to a third party so that they know who she's going to be with, and then they have certain parts throughout the night where she has to check in as well. And then she doesn't drive home afterwards. She drives somewhere else to make sure that he's not following her.
And that's not psychotic at all. What's this whole paranoia, guys? Now, granted, there are men, alright, there are bad, evil men who have done such things. But in terms of percentages, do you know what we're talking about? These men? There was a story, guys, and this is a true story, about a woman in Brazil who put poison on her kitty and wanted to kill her man that way, alright? Now, I remember I read it somewhere, right? Don't quote me. Maybe it was a fake story. It was years ago when I read it. But I remember it struck me, right? So maybe you can Google it. I haven't. But the thing was, she put poison on her kitty and told her man to eat her, right? And so the man smelled something was weird, something was odd, and so he didn't want to. And later he found out about the whole thing, alright? So she tried to unalive her husband by making him eat poison off her kitty. I hope this case is real and I didn't read some fake bullcrap. But the point is, guys, there are insane people, both men and women. It's so absurd to say, oh, I am single, because proceeds to mention this very odd, specific, uncommon behavior that has happened once, alright? But, oh, I'm single. This is why I'm single, guys, as a man, because this one woman in Brazil 10 years ago tried to unalive her man with poison on her kitty. This is why I'm single. It's just absurd. Oh, I'm single because 1 out of every 10,000 men is an unaliver. Oh, well, congratulations.
At first I thought that was a little extreme, but I don't know, maybe it's not. Women, how do you keep yourself safe? And men, like, what are your thoughts on this? And I want to say, I know that it's not every man. I know that there are amazing, incredible, awesome, wonderful men who are protectors and who would never hurt women. So I just want to throw that out there. But we don't know the difference sometimes. So
I don't know. I mean, you are the licensed psychotherapist. You should know this. If you don't know and we don't know, how will we manage? We are all relying upon your insight, you licensed psychotherapist. If you can save us, who will?
As a man, if you're watching this, what would your thoughts be if I went on a date with you and I said, hey, can you send me a picture of your license and license plate just to make sure I'm safe? Like, what?
I mean, my thoughts, guys, will be, should I unalive her now or after dinner? Because if I unalive her now, I won't have to pay for her dinner. But if I unalive her later, then we can go to bed. You know, that's what my thoughts will be as a professional unaliver.
What would you say to that? And women, what are you doing out here to keep yourself safe? Give me some tips, some thoughts, whatever. And follow me for some crazy dating stories, because
No, I won't follow you. Well, gentlemen, there you have it. Next time someone asks you, hey, man, there's so many women that are single. Why is that the case? You just tell them, oh, it's because every man on this planet is an unaliver. Alright? And see how that person reacts. He's probably going to vomit in his mouth or something, I know. He's going to have an aneurysm just listening to that. But gentlemen, enough with that. Let's move on to our article story, which is titled, Boyfriend Charging for Flowers? So, this is the woman, guys, that got a taste of equality. Let's have a listen. A read, rather. My boyfriend sent me... General Kenobi. Excuse me for that, guys. My boyfriend sent me a $70 Zelle request for half of groceries. No big deal. I paid it. But then I heard him on the phone with the bank saying his last transaction was the grocery store for $138. So not only did he round up for me, but he brought me flowers on that grocery trip and included that in the amount to pay him back. Wow. This is rude, right? We both have decent jobs. What's rude about that? I mean, you women wanted equality. You yourself mentioned that you both have decent jobs. Why should he pay for the whole thing? You're making the same money as him, right? So there's your equality. You fought for this. You literally went on the streets with your boobs out and some signs and whatever. Not, oh, equality. There you have it. No, there it is. There you have it. But, oh, I'm not happy now. Oh, well. Tough luck. Guess women are never happy, guys, is the takeaway. We both have decent jobs, and while I do make more money than him, when I'm working, my gigs are by the month, so I'll spend 3-4 months not working at a time, and he works minimum 3 nights a week at his job, but most often 4 to 5 nights with no weeks or months off, so it kind of evens out. Well, there you have it. It evens out, and the check evens out as well, alright? The bill evens out as well. What's the problem? There's your equality. I brought it up to him because I'm a romantic, so it hurt my feelings that he'd be so petty as to round up to the nearest 10 instead of $1 while also including the flowers. He got pissed at me and acted like it was petty of me to bring up and said that, and said then that the flowers were for the house. But if they were for the house, honestly, I'd rather choose the flowers myself because I like much nicer flowers. I never complained about the flowers because I thought it was a sweet gesture. Is there a way to talk about this that won't offend him? Has anyone else done this or have this happen to them? Gentlemen, are you ready for the comments? First one says, your partner is meant to be on your team. Squeezing a few dollars out of you doesn't say team player. A few dollars, guys. So she paid $70. The bill was $138, alright? So that is $69, nice number, per person. It's $1, alright? You're paying $1 more, which is a lot more convenient because you can pay $70 more easily than having to break them into 69. Alright? You guys, it's $1. Oh, he stole $1. That doesn't say team player. Well, people smoking. I dated a girl like this one time. Our relationship was like a spreadsheet where she always had to keep score. She was so worried about it being unfair to her that she created a situation where it was unfair to me. It felt almost like a transactional relationship where she was always looking for a deal. Yada yada. Stingy man, stingy love. I have never seen a man who will be petty financially but generous with his love. Those traits are excuse me, yes, the negotiator. I'm gonna say a General Grievous quote every time I have problems with my voice, guys. Anyway, I continue. Those traits are inextricably intertwined. Another one says, all signs point to F this guy. This is what reveals a me-first boyfriend. When someone shows who they are, believe it. Yada, yada, yada. People crying and complaining. And gentlemen, just to be clear, I don't like this. I don't think that as a man you should be like this. I think that men should provide. I think that's what gives men a good feeling. I think that's what men are called upon. I think that's what women like, and they won't respect you and shouldn't have to if you don't provide in some way, alright? There's gonna be this one guy who says he doesn't have a broken leg, I don't work. You meaning to tell me my wife doesn't respect me because I have a broken leg and I cannot work? That we're not talking about the exceptions. We're talking in general, right? So I don't support this, alright? I agree that this is stingy, right? So you have a partner and you break in everything even. I don't like it. What I also don't like is the fact that every time a man does this, we have a problem on our hands. Oh, this man is so dusty, you deserve better. And all these women upset, oh, leave him. When women do this, alright, when women don't bring their part of the work to the relationship, nobody has a problem. When women don't listen to men or consider their opinions, when women want to be always right, nobody has a problem with that. Oh, you're independent, you're empowered, right? The things that men must do in a relationship, if they decide to split them, we have a problem. We can't carry equal weight in the groceries because, oh, men are stronger, they should carry all the bags. We can't split the bill because, oh, it's so disgusting. How can you do that? You're not a provider, right? All those things that men do, they must stick to it. But the things that women should do traditionally, and I'm not even talking about cleaning dishes or making a sandwich. I'm not talking about the stereotypes. I'm talking about the way women should behave in relationships. Oh, when women don't do that, oh, no problem, right? We want to be traditional when it comes to men, but empowered and independent when it comes to women, right? So, gentlemen, if this woman is traditional, I agree with her. If she's not traditional, there's the equality you fought for. But have at it. Enjoy. But, gentlemen, what are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. My voice is getting better, boys, and soon it will be back to normal. So thank you for sticking around, gentlemen. Thank you for your wishes for me to get better. And I'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.